record this on my computer and pin my video. There we go. Technology. So very excited to be here with you tonight. And if you're watching this live on Instagram, then feel free to say hello. And if you're watching on Zoom, well, I'm glad that you're here as well. We're doing a few different broadcasts of this in different places. So yes, I will be looking at 2 different places at once. Really glad that you're here. For those of you on Zoom, there is a chat feature over on the right side. And so if you have access to that, go ahead and chat and say hello. And also there may be some of you who are watching this as a replay. Super glad that you're here. Definitely hang out for the entire video because I'm going to be sharing about something super special. Not going to want to miss it. My name is Matthew Van Horn, if you don't know that. And I am one of the founding creators of LGBTQ Entrepreneur, along with my partner in life and business, Caleb Aring. So we are really excited to put together this masterclass for you. It's one of our missions to provide as much value as we can to the LGBTQ community, especially in the area of growing business and reaching more people with the work that they do. Because I have found that we are the people who are going to change the world. I just know that to be true. So I'm glad that you're taking the time to be here. It says a lot about your commitment to your vision and to what you're doing in the world and the people that are in desperate need of what you have to offer, or at least in need of what you have to offer. So the point of this masterclass is to teach you our 3 steps to get clients, to dive a little bit deep into some strategies that you can use today in order to grow your business. So that's why the name of the masterclass is 3 steps to get clients. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And before I dive into that, what I would love to know is, if you're watching this, what is it that you do and where are you from? So go ahead and share in the chat, or if you're watching us on Instagram, you can also let us know in the chat or put a comment up. Let me know what you do and where you're from. And while you're doing that, I'm going to do one other thing. Cool. So while those are coming in, because there is probably a little bit of a delay from where you enter stuff and when I see it, I'm going to keep going forward. I wanted to share with you a little bit about how I got to be where I'm at right now and how I'm able to share with you about getting clients. There was a moment in time where I was definitely not qualified to teach what I teach, that I was struggling, and I had no idea what I was doing, which is very different from where I'm at now. You know, my partner and I, we've had $32,000 weekends. I've served $10,000 clients, and I've also had the joy of having multiple $10,000 months. So I know now what it takes in order to grow a business to the size that I've grown it without exhausting myself or without wearing myself out. And I just want to take you to when it was really bad for me really quickly, because there was a period of time where I wanted to grow a business. I wanted to bring in more clients, but I just couldn't figure out how to do it. Like, I did not know the first thing about how to bring more people in. It was totally baffling to me. And so what I ended up doing is studying. Like, I became a student of marketing and client attraction. I started looking towards different mentors that were out there and asking them, hey, what works for you? What doesn't work for you? And I also began to study some of the not so great marketing ways that are out there. People that teach marketing in a way that is salesy or slimy or manipulative, or, you know, there's a million words for some of the ways that people teach marketing that I simply wasn't a fan of. And so when I saw a lot of this, I realized that there is definitely a need for heart-centered, high integrity sales. So that is what we specialize in. That's what I'm going to be talking about tonight, is high integrity, heart-centered sales. So I'm really glad that you're here with me tonight. And I'm going to teach you as much as I can in this hour. Obviously, an hour is not a ton of time. It's a short, brief moment. I know that Chris is here, and Chris got to join us for 2 days, which is amazing. We do an event here that I'll talk about in a little bit. But, because we only have an hour together, I will be sharing with you a way that you can stay connected to us and a way that you can get even more information that we have so that you can keep growing your business. And with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive right into our 3-step system. And before I do that, what I want to also encourage you is to look for maybe one thing that you can take from this class tonight. Maybe just one thing. Rather than overloading yourself or getting too overwhelmed by all the things that I'm going to teach you, that you just pick one thing that you can implement and see if that can create a 1-degree shift for you. One thing that can maybe help you to begin the journey toward bringing in more clients in your business. And feel free at any point, if you have questions or need anything, you can hit the comment. If you're watching this as a replay, write down your questions so that you can send them to me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, because I know that many of you will be watching this as a replay. And ultimately, I want you to know that you are fabulous and that what you do matters, and it is important. It's important to the world. It is important that you reach your people, and that we want to make sure that you have what you need to do that. All right? So let's see if I can do this seamlessly. One of the sayings that we have at LGBTQ Entrepreneur is the concept of fierceness, which means anytime we make mistakes or something goes not quite how we planned, we call it being fierce. And what that means is that we made some sort of mistake. It's our way of, instead of like beating ourselves up and making ourselves feel bad about being human, we say that's fierce because it kind of gives us a little bit of sass. So I'm about to try to switch over to a slide really quick, and we'll see what happens. So let's you can cross your fingers for me if you'd like, but we shall see. So if I do this, boom, you can see my slide. Cool. So I'm going to be talking about the 3 steps to get clients. That's what the whole webinar is about tonight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share step 1 with you now. So one of the mistakes that I see a lot of people making when they start their business is that they don't know how to reach their people. They don't know how to actually get in front of their ideal clients, or they're not sure who their ideal clients are. So step 1 is simply reach your people. And I say simply, but I don't actually mean simply. What I actually mean is you're going to want to find a way to reach your people that makes sense for both you and them. And things to consider for this is where your people are, what they do in their free time, and who they follow on social media. Now, one of the things that I have seen so many of us do is that we're not sure of who our people are. And if we're not sure of who our people are, when we go out there and we try to reach them, we don't know who we're trying to reach. And so because we're not sure who we're trying to reach, we reach no one. And we end up in kind of this spiral of just aimlessly wandering around, not getting clients. So I don't want you to do that. I want you to know who your people are, where your people are, and then anything you can get to know about them. What do they do in their free time? Who do they follow on social media? Now, a big mistake that I see so many of us make in this area, and I want to be really clear, is you'll hear me say that specificity is important, because it is. However, you just need to know enough to get started. You need to know enough to get started. So you don't have to have an avatar. You don't have to have you don't have to have an age, a gender, median income, a type of car they drive, their favorite movie. You don't need any of that. What you need is a general idea of who your people are. So maybe one or two qualifying categories that you can put your potential client in. And once you have a couple categories, I promise as you talk to this group of people, they are going to guide you closer to your people. They're going to tell you who your people are based on your interaction with them. So there are a few ways that I'm going to talk about tonight on how to reach your people, things that you can do. And some of these strategies may be perfect for you and others may not. And this is why we teach a variety of ways to reach your people, because what works for someone might not work for another person. All these might work for you and maybe only one. But what I can guarantee is at least one of the strategies that we teach in our mastery program will work for you to reach your people. Because we've worked with enough people over time and we've looked at all the ways that are out there. So I guarantee that one of these will help. So the first thing I want to touch on is networking events. And a networking event is a group of people that are gathered and you didn't have to put the work in to get them there. And I just realized if you're watching this on Instagram, you're not seeing any slides. Don't worry, you're not missing a lot from not seeing the slides. It just has a few words on it. But they're a good way for me to keep my notes. So a networking event is not that place where people have name tags that are color-coded and where people are desperately trying to get you to hire them. Networking events are any place that people are gathered and you didn't have to get them there. A birthday party, or maybe a camping trip, or maybe the grocery store. Now, the cool thing is when you go out there and you start to have a general idea of who your people are, all of a sudden when you step into a space, you'll begin to see, oh, this person is one of my potential clients, and this person's one of my potential clients, and you'll be able to talk to them. Rather than going into an open space and saying, oh my God, any of these people could be my potential client. I don't know who to talk to, I'm overwhelmed. And then you just get a lot of anxiety. At least that's my personal story. Before I narrowed it down a little bit, that happened to me a lot. The next way is referrals. So previous clients, friends, and family, members of your community. How can you ask these people in your life to support you in gaining more reach to your potential people? And again, this is really important to know who your people are, because you want to make sure that you're giving the people that you're asking for referrals from as much information to go on as possible. If someone came to me and they said, hey, Matthew, I'm looking to help people with back pain, I might be able to think of a few people who have back pain. But if they came to me and say, hey, Matthew, I'm looking for mothers who experience back pain, that's just two qualifying groups of people, mothers experiencing back pain. I have quite a few mothers in my social circle, and most of the mothers that I know suffer from back pain because they're constantly picking up this life all the time. It's like life is attached to their hip. So I can then begin to be a referral partner, and all of a sudden actual faces pop into my mind rather than me having to search through all the people that I know. See how this can work? You're looking for faces to pop into people's minds. And as soon as you get specific, faces begin to happen rather than them kind of squinting, being like, You want them to be like, yes, I know who you're looking for. Okay. Strategic partnerships is a really amazing way to reach people. And I won't dive into this too much here, but this is ultimately where you connect with somebody who has connections to many of your people. So if you serve, say you serve the queer community like Caleb and myself do, then ask yourself, who are other leaders in the queer community who have access to people who can connect you with their people? And step 2 is going to be really important when you do this. Step 2 is going to be a vital step in this process, so make sure you hang out for step 2. But strategic partnerships is that they have access to your ideal client base, and you're going to connect with them, and they're going to connect with their people. The good news about this, the good thing is that they already have that know, like, and trust factor that you're looking to get from your potential clients. Okay, so step 2. So before I go into step 2, let's stop screen sharing for a moment so you can see my face again, because sometimes putting slides up can be just like a lot of slides, and I'm very cute, so I want to also be on camera. And yeah, so yes, the first strategy of reaching your people, it's a vital step. And some of you might be thinking, well, reaching people is not a problem for me. I have access to lots of my ideal potential clients. I have no problem coming across people who I can serve. I know my demographic, I know who I want to target, and I just don't know how to turn them into clients. And so this is why step number 2 is going to be really important for you. Step number 2 is about providing them with value, providing your people with value. So I want you to ask yourself this question. I want you to think to yourself, what is your potential client looking for in terms of a result? What is your potential client looking for in terms of a result? And another question to ask yourself is, what is the struggle that they have? Like, what is the struggle that they have? Really find this out, because this is a key. And I'm just going to give you a little bonus here. Typically, what we think the struggle is and the result that they're looking for, and what they would say the struggle is and the result they're looking for, typically not the same thing. And then the third thing that you want to know is, how important is this for them? So I'll repeat this again. What do they struggle with? What results are they looking for? And how important is this for them to get? And the way you're going to find out is you're going to ask them. You're going to ask them these 3 questions. So once you reach your people and you find them, you're going to make sure that these 3 questions get worked into the conversation in some way. In some way. Right? So I know we have Riley here, who's an aspiring virtual assistant. And so, for Riley, you are going to be asking people who might need a virtual assistant. Like, what is your biggest challenge that you're facing? And this is depending on who your demographic is. If you want to work with entrepreneurs or successful business people, CEOs, whoever that person is that you want to work with, you're going to ask them these questions. What is the result that you want from having a personal virtual assistant? And then the question of questions, because what I've found is that what we often do is we pretend that we know how important it is for them without asking. We just assume that because we know how powerful the work we do is, that they are going to understand how important the work we do is. And that's not typically how things work. Just because we think the work we do is important doesn't mean other people will think it's important. So you need to ask the question, how important is this result for you? Good to see you on the Instagrams. We were just talking about the 3 steps to get clients tonight. So it's a little masterclass. And if you want to share what you do and where you're from, that'd be great. So provide them with value at that point. Provide them with value. One of the ways that we really encourage you to provide people with value is through what we call a colorful consultation. And you can make up any name you want for your own consultation, a discovery session or a strategy session. And what this allows you to do is create a container for you to ask these questions without it being weird or awkward. Because if you're just out and about and you walk up to somebody and you say, hey, what's your biggest struggle? That might go over okay. But if it's an intentional bubble that you've created, it's going to go over a lot better. And so a colorful consultation is a private conversation where you can ask them these specific questions. Find out more about them. And in fact, when in our mastery program, we teach 5 magic questions that I make sure every one of our clients asks their potential clients in consultations. 5 questions that are never skipped. We really like to give a lot of freedom and leeway in the outlines that we provide for our clients, but I always encourage our clients, stick with the 5 questions, don't veer away, because they're really, really important. 3 of which you already have. What is your biggest struggle? What result are you looking for? And how important is this for you, or how dedicated are you? I know that I talk a little fast, so I just want to slow down for a moment. I don't want to speed through this too fast. So I want to give you a little bit of a homework kind of assignment right now, or a little bit of a challenge right now. But I want you to think to yourself, what can I provide in terms of a strategy or a tip for people to bring them one step closer to what they want? What is a strategy or a tip that I can provide for somebody that will bring them one step closer to what they want? And it's really important at this phase that you understand that this strategy should not include you or working with you as part of the tip or strategy. It's a mistake that I see a lot of business owners make as they go out there, is they try to provide value to people, but the value they provide is simply working with them. I recommend you work with me. Well, it's of course you recommend I work with you. Duh. Because you're a business and you want to make money, and that's what you're doing this for. And so this is what I mean by high integrity, heart-centered sales. The high integrity and the heart-centeredness comes from you're willing to show up in service. Your willingness to show up and provide them with actual tips that they can use, even if they decide not to exchange money with you. And that it's not, it's not a bait and switch. It's not a trick. It's not manipulative. It's not fill this out and then I will analyze it for you. None of that. This is simply a tip that you can give them that they can use after you get off the call with them, that's going to bring them a step closer to the vision of what they want, the result that they're looking for. And so I want you to just think of what that could be, because I want to make sure that the time in this masterclass is actually spent with you creating some of this, and that you're ready when you get on a call to think about what tip you can give people. An example of this is when I was doing the coaching that I started off with, which was intimacy coaching, I would actually encourage people to take just 2 minutes out of every morning to do a breathing exercise that I would teach them. Right? So, my first recommendation is you do this breathing exercise. This is the benefit, and it can be really incredible. If you do it for 5 days in a row, that's amazing. Feel free to let me know how it goes, but see how there's nothing in there that requires me after I teach it to them. It's not like I'm going to teach you the first 3 breaths, and then when you become my client, I'm going to teach you the rest of the sequence. That's what you want to avoid. So begin to think about the ways that you can provide strategy, or you can provide a strategy or a tip. Other ways that you can provide people with value is through classes and workshops. So whereas the colorful consultation is a little bubble that you create on the phone, there's also a chance for you to teach multiple people all at once. And so when you teach multiple people all at once, you're really able to obviously impact more people. But you can also get a lot more clients at once as well. So you can save time. This is not a substitute. I just want to be really clear. This is not a substitute for taking the time to master consultations, because the consultations are invaluable. They are so incredibly important to learning the language of your people that I see so many people skip consultations and one-on-one conversations and go straight to workshops or classes. And to do that, you're missing a really important part. And in fact, you're learning your client's language and the results that they want and all that, but you're learning it on a group level. And it's not, I don't recommend it. I do not recommend it. So make sure that you really dive into the consultations and have those one-on-one conversations with people where you learn more about them. After you learn more about them, you're able to provide them with value. And then that's going to bring me to my third step. My third step. So once you have reached your people, you've gone out there, you've found a way to connect with your community, the people that you want to serve, the people that you're called to serve. Once you've reached your people, from there, you are going to provide them with value. You're going to show them that you know what you're talking about, that you are an expert in your field, that you have knowledge that can lead them to where they want to be. And once you've given them the value, I want to be really clear at this point. This step is not optional. This is not an optional step. It is an obligation. It is a required step. And this is where you make an irresistible invitation. It is your responsibility to make an invitation to your people so that they have the option to continue the journey with you or not. I'm just going to say it once more. So it's not an option, it's an obligation to invite people to continue the journey with you after you've provided them with value. One of my mentors once said, can you imagine if you went to 5th grade and at the end of 5th grade, you were going to go to middle school, and instead of guiding you to middle school and teaching you about the next step or giving you the option of the next step, they were just like, we're not going to talk about 6th grade. We're not none of that, because it's going to be too much for you to take on. And if you really want 6th grade, you'll find out what you need to learn about 6th grade and you'll get there on your own. That doesn't happen. Like, we always give kids the next step when they're growing and when they're learning. And the same is true for our potential clients. When they're in the learning phase, we want to make sure that they have an option to go forward. Give them the position of choice. Give them the position of choice. So when it comes to making an invitation, things to consider is, what is the next step for them? What is the next step for them? So you've reached them and you've given them a little bit of value. And so after that value, what is the next step for them? And this is important because oftentimes what I've seen happen is the suggestion that you might give on the consultation, or the tip or the strategy, might be something like a breathing exercise or a meditation. And then the next step as an invitation is most likely not going to be a week-long retreat in Thailand. That might not be the next step for them. Only you know, because you've had a conversation with them. What it might actually be is, well, I'm going to talk about the things that you can invite people into in just a moment. So the second thing to consider is, do you want to work with these people? Do you want to work with this person that you're on the phone with? Again, high integrity, heart-centered sales, which can seem counterproductive to growing your business and getting clients and making money. Turning people away can seem scary. However, turning away the people who you do not want to work with is honorable, it's high integrity, and it allows them to actually work with people who are an aligned fit for them. So I recommend that you find a network of people that you can refer out to for those that aren't a good fit for you. But ask yourself at the end of a call, do you want to work with this person? And then also ask yourself, can you deliver results? I've had people who have wanted to hire me for thousands of dollars to do things that I'm not qualified to teach. And there's this part of my brain that fires up that says, yeah, but you can learn that really quick and then just feed it back to them because then you'd know it. And that's not, to me, the definition of high integrity. To me, that falls under manipulative and sleazy. So instead, when somebody comes to me and they're like, I want to learn how to, say, build an entire back end of a funnel, and I want to know the technology behind it, for that, I'm going to refer them to one of many of the people who I know who are amazing at that. But if somebody wants to learn client attraction and how to take what the gifts that they have or that they've learned and they want to turn that into something that can be offered to people and exchanged for value and money, and have a business that not just makes money, but that impacts the world in a big way, I'm your guy. Caleb and I are the people for you. So 2 more things to consider when it comes to your invitation is how much time will it actually take for them to get the result that they want? And go ahead and be honest with your people, about what you think the amount of time it'll take. And for this, it might actually cause you to stretch outside of the what you would consider offering. What I mean by that is maybe you can cure back pain or get somebody to see what their gifts and purposes are from one session. But what does the maintenance after that look like? What would be the ideal amount of time for them not to just have the result, but to maintain the result that you provide? I know so many chiropractors who can get you out of pain real quick, but almost every chiropractor I've ever talked to said that maintenance adjustments make a difference. That if you have regular adjustments throughout the year, then you don't need to come in for that big crack. And so how can you create a package that allows your clients to have the result and then maintain the effects of the result? So that's what I mean by an irresistible invitation, because step 3 is create an irresistible invitation, meaning it just makes sense for them to say yes to what you're offering. If it's a good fit, if they're aligned with what you're teaching, and if that's the step for them, then it makes sense. So I mentioned the package, and what a package is an amount of one-on-one sessions or an amount of time that you're going to work with somebody to get results. So you can do this either by the month, sign up with me for a month at a certain rate, or I recommend 4 sessions. A package should typically be a minimum of 4 sessions, typically. And anything less than that, 4 sessions is a good number as the baseline for a package. One of my personal favorite things to invite people into is a VIP experience. I absolutely love creating these experiences for people. And the way that you go about this is you create a 3 or a 4 hour experience for people that is tailored personally for them to drop them in and get them results quickly, provides massive impact on their lives. And for many people, when they create a VIP session, it includes things like meditating or journaling or implementing what they've learned on the spot. Because we as humans, we can take homework assignments and we can definitely not do them. We can definitely procrastinate, put off, all that fun stuff. So I will encourage you to, if you create a VIP day, don't be afraid to allow people the space to do the writing or do the reading or do the practice. If it's a breathwork practice, teach it, let them experience it. And then there's space for them to process the experience with you. It can be a really incredible roller coaster. And this is something that I love teaching about, creating the perfect VIP experience for your client and how to make sure that's a success. And a little tip, at the end of a VIP experience, a maintenance package of sessions to continue the momentum is always a good idea, if it makes sense and if you can provide them with continued results. So I have clients who I see throughout the year who are currently on $10,000 maintenance packages where we just see each other every 2 weeks just to check in on the progress that they've made and what shifts and changes they're making in their lives. And it's absolutely incredible to have these clients who show up and they're excited about the changes and shifts. And right now we're maintaining the shift. So, and I'll talk about, just for a second, creating group programs, which is another way to create a complete journey for someone that includes a community aspect. And you'll get really good results from this with your people because you're able to not just give them attention, support, and celebration, but there are other people around them to do the same as well. So you get to act as the mentor and leader of the community, but ultimately those who are in your program will support each other as well. And so the results from group programs for your clients typically increase because of all the support that they're able to get. It can be a powerful, powerful way to provide a lot of value to your people. And you can do a lot of different features with group programs. There's, one-on-one support that you can offer. There's group calls, live in-person events, all kinds of things that you can offer. Cool. So I talked about reaching your people, providing them with value, and then making an irresistible invitation. Honestly, this is our 3-step system. This is what we use to get clients. This has been responsible for thousands of dollars in sales, and not just that, but like countless lives impacted by, just watching the people who have become our clients shift and change and grow. And it lights me up every time I leave a coaching call with a client who has gotten the work that they do in the hands of another person, that the work that they do has impacted somebody's lives, or that they got an email like I get all the time that's like, I'm so glad that I said yes to working with you because of what has happened. And I know that those emails are coming to you soon as well, because the work you do is important and your clients are waiting for you. It's freaking awesome. And so there's one final thing that I'm going to mention on this call before we head off for the night. Before I talk about the last key, if you will, the thing that kind of binds this all together, is I do want to talk about continuing education, because I've shared with you my journey to get to where I'm at now. And honestly, it wouldn't have happened without constantly diving in and being surrounded by people who had been through the journey before me, but also who had the knowledge that I needed. And so I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to bargain and to negotiate my price with clients. And I also know what it's like to stand in my value and to feel more confidence as I go out there and I deliver my invitations to people, and as I reach them and as I provide value. So with that, I would love to share with you about something that we put together. Caleb and I, we designed this, absolutely love it. And you get to hear about it first before anyone else. This is the Be Fabulous Get Clients. Actually, it's Mastery Online. So we've taken the course that we've run and we've created an online version of it to make it more accessible. And what this program's all about is, I talked about reaching your people, and the importance of reaching your people doesn't need to really be said. If we don't find and know who our people are and reach them, we don't change the world with our work. It doesn't happen. And this is why in the Be Fabulous Get Clients Mastery Online Program, we actually go through the strategies and find which one is perfect for you to make sure that you are reaching the right people, and not just reaching them, but connecting with them in a way that has them excited to learn more. And then we talked about providing value. And once you connect with your ideal clients, the kind of value that you provide is important, right? There is such thing as giving too little, and there is such thing as giving too much. And either of those two mistakes when you're on a consultation can result in people being either overwhelmed or underwhelmed and result in them not continuing forward with you. And so finding the perfect balance is one of the things that we really dive into in Mastery. So you're going to leave the Mastery program online with your strategies all laid out. And not just strategies, we're going to teach you also about freebies and giveaways. And freebies and giveaways are one step above a strategy or a tip. This is a tangible object that you can actually give to people, either a video or a one-pager or a mini workbook, and we're going to create that together so that you have that freebie ready to go, and you have it to give out. If you hold a workshop or if you do a class like this online, you can offer that to your people. And then I talked about the irresistible invitation, and that is probably the key of keys. That is the big thing, that if we don't invite people into working with us, chances are they're not going to know it's an option, and they're not going to say yes to working with us. And so this is why in the Mastery program, we give you an outline for how to do an invitation that makes sense, where you have the step-by-step way to talk about your offering, your invitation to the person that you're talking to, that is the next step for them. And then not just that, we are going to design together what you're offering, how much you're going to be charging, and we're going to talk about what kind of package you can put together for people and the different levels that you can offer. So that way you make sure that whoever you're talking to, you are giving them a good fit for what they're looking for. So I'm going to, again, do a little bit of slides for those of you on the Zoom call or watching this on a replay. And if you're on Instagram, in the description of our Instagram, you'll find a link that you can click and get more information about everything that I'm talking about. But let's do this, because I'm going to do some slides. Okay. So I just want to give you some details about the program, when it starts. It's actually starting on August 16th, and we're going to be meeting from 9 a.m. Oh, what am I doing? There we go. We're going to be meeting from 9 a.m. till 12:15 every Thursday, and it's a 6-week program. If you're thinking I can't make the live calls, don't worry. We do have recordings that you will have available, and you'll get access to the recordings of the calls. And if you have questions or anything that you watched in the video and you need clarification, you can send those to me and I'll address them in the live calls. And then one-on-one support is really important, at least for me, with my personal coaches and mentors. And so I want to make sure that I always offer one-on-one support for those people that decide to work with us. And this is not something that a lot of people do. And in fact, it's something that we've talked about often, about whether or not to offer this. But like I said, one-on-one support has been vital in my success. And so I want to make it always an option whenever we do any sort of program. And so with Mastery Online, you'll get one-on-one coaching sessions, and you'll actually get 4 of those. So if you're asking yourself, how much is this going to cost you? So the Get Clients Mastery course and the private coaching for 4 sessions is $2,994. Private coaching alone, 4 sessions, is $997 for me. However, we want to do something awesome and, again, make this accessible. Because the truth is, $3,000 for what we're offering is worth it in terms of what we teach. And if you and I did this work individually, we would definitely get up into the $6,000 or $7,000 range with the sessions that we would be doing. So we actually priced it at $997, or 2 payments of $549. And I want to be honest, we'll never ever offer it at this price again. This is our first time launching this online mastery program. We've done it live, but this is our first time doing it as an online program. And so we want to do this introductory price of $997. And then we decided to throw in some really amazing bonuses as well. And so we do live monthly strategy calls on Wednesday nights. The first Wednesday of every month, we do a live strategy call. And then we also do a live Q&A call on the second Wednesday of the month. So tomorrow, we have a live Q&A call. And so if you decide to join us in our program, you'll actually have access to that Q&A call tomorrow. I'll make sure you get that info. And you'll have access for 3 months of these, which means you'll get 3 strategy calls and 3 Q&A calls. You'll get membership in our Facebook group, and this is for 3 months. And this is a chance as well for you to get more individual support. We love supporting our people, making sure that they get what they need in order to get the results that they're looking for. And so what we do in this group is we actually have a coaching thread, and we post this once a week. And it's your chance to post any questions or anything you need on that thread, and no question will go unanswered. We will make sure we answer every single person. You'll also get a ticket to our 2-day live event, Be Fabulous, Get Clients, if you have not yet attended. This is an amazing opportunity for you to come hang out with some fellow queer solo practitioners and service providers. If you've been before, you kind of know that it's like a little bit of a fun party. We have some dancing, we do some transformational exercises, and we teach some business strategies. So incredible event, and you'll get to join us. And the admission for this is typically $997, but you get to come as our guest. So the total value of the bonuses is over $1,700. But we wanted to do a couple more bonuses. If you register by August 10th, which I think is in just a couple days, we've got a couple extra bonuses. So the first one is a confidence masterclass. And this is a chance for you to join me for a masterclass where we look at the most common blocks to confidence that keep people held back in their lives in whatever areas that they're blocked in. And then I give actual strategies for overcoming those blocks. And confidence coaching has been my strongest coaching from the past when I started my business, and it's what a lot of people come to me for, as well as business strategy. And so I love talking about how to build confidence. So it's going to be a really fun, powerful masterclass. You'll get to join us for that. And then we want to just make it a no-brainer for those who are interested. So if you do sign up before August 10th, you'll get another $100 off, which makes it $897. Or the payment plan would be 2 payments of $499 instead of $549 if you sign up before August 10th. So we would absolutely love for you to join us in this mastery program online. You're going to get, like I said, 6 live classes. And this is really for you if you are ready to get clients. You're ready to have a bigger impact. You're ready to stop struggling. And you want the mentorship and you want the systems to get there. And finally, if you want it to be a fun, enjoyable experience, we say if you're a unicorn of awesome, which means this isn't going to be some boring, lame-ass at-home study where we're just going to give you videos to watch and say, good luck, thanks for the money. This is live in-person, virtual calls where we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to get this into your bones so that you're ready to go out there and change the world with your work. So if you are going to join us, this is the link, lgbtqentrepreneur.com/ there we go, Mastery Online. and I believe it's in the chat as well. And if you're watching this as a replay, then you'll get that information in the email that we sent you. And then finally, I want to talk about, I'm going to stop my screen share. Finally, I just want to talk about commitment, because I personally had struggled with commitment for a long time. And somebody once said that to me, and this was powerful, that commitment is not, deciding to do something. Like, commitment's not that, like, that thing. How do I even word this? They basically said that commitment is a moment in time where you're ready, and a moment in time where you say yes to your dream and your goal, and not just like a small yes, but like the yes of all yeses, the yes that has gotten you where you are today, the yes that has been scary in the past and you weren't sure if you were doing the right thing, but you did it, and where you didn't know what the result was going to be, but you had faith and you trusted. And so I do want to invite those of you who are called to join us to do so. And if you're not called to join us, that you still step fully into your vision, that you use what we taught here tonight, and that you step fully in all the way. Because I want to be honest with you, this is not a fucking dress rehearsal, and this is not the time for us to sit back and watch as the world goes to shit. We have a responsibility right now to do what we can to get the work that we do in the hands of as many people as possible, because things are going crazy. And so I hope that this has inspired you to do more, touch more people, reach more people, become more resourceful, make more money, and do good with that money. And if you need anything, please feel free to email. You can call or text, smoke signal in the sky, whatever you need to contact me to ask me questions. I'm available for that. lgbtqentrepreneur@gmail.com. I want to thank you for taking the time to check this out. I look forward to seeing many of you in our program. Have an epic night, and I will see you soon. Bye.